So I saw the Lilo and Stitch remake a couple of days ago, and I thought it was pretty good. And it made me want to do something that I have actually never done before, which is to play Pokemon Ultra Moon. This has got to be the worst intro I've ever done for a Let's Play. Hello, all the crazy people out there. My name is Dragonite, and we are going to be doing this. I have never actually played Pokemon Ultra Moon. I got it when it came out, said I'll get around to it eventually. Yeah, at that point, I had come off playing Pokemon Sun not too long ago, and I was like, I don't know if I need to do the same game twice in succession. And I never got around to it, so we're going to do that now. There is a save file on this cartridge because my cousin was playing it. Briefly, but I don't believe he got very far, and I wasn't watching when he did, at least not most of it, so this is going to be somewhat familiar because I did play Pokemon Sun and somewhat new to me. Alright. That looks a lot more crystalline version of Lunala than I was really expecting to see, but okay. I will also say that I don't remember Pokemon Sun. Yeah, this was my cousin. I think, what is it? Up select B on the title screen. Up select B or something like that. No. How do you delete save files in Pokemon? It's apparently up X and B, which is a little bit easier than the combination I was hitting. Yeah, sorry, Gregory. I have no idea if you ever actually got to play Sun or Moon or Ultra Sun or Ultra Moon for real. I don't believe he ever actually had a 3DS. But this is gonna erase this save file, and we're gonna get started. So as I was saying, I don't actually remember very much of Pokemon Sun, which is a shame because I remember when I played through it the first time back in 2016, thinking like this is a pretty cool Pokemon game. I like the tropical island theme and what have you. And they tried to do some different things in that game that I thought were interesting, some good, some bad. But here we are, however many years later, and I just remember almost none of it. I remember monsters coming out of the sky and Lily and get in the bag, Nebby. I don't know if that's going to be a joke that they carry over into this game or not, but we're going to start playing in English. Yes, please. I also know that there's a little bit more in the post game. Alola region's own Professor Kukui. Oh, I also remember that the internet really liked this guy shirtless for some reason. But we're gonna get to that when we get to that. All right. Ah, yes, the music. That brings me back. Is it weird to say that brings me back about music that I hear in this game now? I feel like it's been long enough that people are allowed to be nostalgic for this, even though I remember very little of it. Compared to most other Pokemon games. But yeah, I am now in Alola. So, Alola is a region made up of several islands. That could be the reason the region is chock full of nothing but rare Pokemon, yeah? So, I don't know if islands necessarily has anything to do with it, but tropical regions generally do have a higher level of biodiversity because there's more, like caloric... I can't for the life of me remember what the ecology nerds call it, but, like, there's more like nutrients and calories available to work their way up to trophic levels so it can support more. Anyway, Pokemon, you'll find them all over. In the grass, in the caves, in the sky, in the sea. Here in Alola, we love our Pokemon and we depend on them heaps too. Some of us even battle with them and we call ourselves Pokemon trainers. Rockruff, Cutiefly, I'll play with you later, so cool your jets. Alright, I gotta ask you some questions about yourself so I can introduce you to everybody. So which photo should I use for your trainer passport? Alright, so I don't really have any preference for what character design I use in this game, so, let's see, should I don't think closing my eyes and picking randomly is going to work when there's 8 choices. I'm going to go on random.org, and, we'll generate a random number from 0 to 7, random.org. Alright, fine, from 1 to 8, we can do that too. The result is a 1, so I guess that'll be the first choice here. So I'm gonna be this here blonde kid. Alright. I'll let you spell out your name for me. So my name is, D-R-A-G-O-N-I-T-E. Love being able to use QWERTY keyboards in games. Yes. Did I spell that right? Yes, I believe I did. Alright. 10 to 4, good buddy. I'll let everybody out here know you're on your way. Dragonite. Yeah, that name hits... that's a name that hits you like a drop kick right in the head. Woo, alright. Yeah, I guess that Team Rocket guy that Lance's Dragonite hyper beamed into the wall can tell you all about that. Can't wait to see you in person then, cousin. I know a couple people who thought that, like, Professor Kukui actually, like, was your real cousin because he keeps calling you that in this game. I am fairly sure that's not the case, and that's just a speech pattern of his, the way that people call each other bro, regardless of whether or not they actually are or not. But alright, so we're gonna duck over to a slightly different scene now that that intro is out of the way. Pokemon Ultra Moon! I really hope the Get in the Bag Nebby gag comes back for this game. I thought that was unreasonably funny the first time around, and I was reminded that it exists relatively recently, and I thought it was unreasonably funny all over again. Anyway, what's this? This looks like a island at night superimposed on the starry sky. Or just stars reflecting off the ocean. I think that's what it was supposed to be. Alright, we are less than like 10 minutes into this game and I already got interrupted and had to put the game down and come back another day. I did turn my 3DS off and I had to like go through the character creator again, and I'm pretty sure I selected the same character and name as I did the first go round. Anyway, could anything be more soothing? The first evening spent under Alola's calm moon. I feel like I could stay out here all night. I'm pretty sure that'll be the opposite, like Alola's warm sun or something in Pokemon Sun. I can't remember. Anyway, that's enough of that. Time to unpack all these boxes. Meowth, go get Drago for me, would you? Yeah, you too, buddy. It's nice that I didn't have to spend the trip in the moving van this time. Or maybe I did, and we just, like, cut into the game before we got to that point or something. I guess it wouldn't be a moving van if you're moving to a tropical island. It would be more like the moving, like, shipping vessel. Oh, there was a Nintendo Switch. That was a Wii U in the original Pokemon Sun and Moon, wasn't it? The Poly Whirl without the face as the carpet. All right. Very adorable. What is that pincer-shaped thing on my bed? I hope there's nothing. Oh, can I move? Am I gonna get up? Oh, I have to use the circle pad. I'm used to using the D-pad to walk around. Alright, I'm good at video games, but seriously, what is that? Why is there there's not like a pincer hiding out under the bedspread, is there? Alright, whatever. So that's a coat rack. So I'm used to spelling coat rack with a space in between coat and rack, and it looks like, as one word, it looks like it should be pronounced like coat track or something, and I don't know why. That might just be a me thing. Alright. What was I doing? Checking the book. So that is the adventure rules. I don't really think I need adventure rules, although I would agree that it does. Yes, I'm recycling that joke from my Pokemon Sun Let's Play. It's the autograph you got from a Kanto gym leader. They wrote good luck. Alright. The Nintendo Switch. It's the game console you can even take outside and play. Yeah, Pokemon Sun and Moon would have come out a couple months before the Switch did, I think, in late 2016. Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon would have come out, so I guess they did update that. It's a lovely little Snorlax beanbag chair. It's said to be so ruinously comfy that you could waste away your whole life lazing around on one. Just like the real thing. Alright. Let's get out of here. The D-pad is not used for moving around. Is the D-pad used for something else? The D-pad might be the, like the quick select, menu for, like, key items and stuff in this game. I can't remember which games did that. Anyway, you were out like a light, weren't you? You ought to be full of energy by now. Just look, it's already night here. It's completely the opposite of Kanto. But then we are so far away here in Alola. So, Drago, are you excited to meet some Alolan Pokemon? I guess. Oh, someday you're gonna learn to have a little wonder in your life. We're living in the Alola region now, the beautiful islands everyone wants to visit. I'm sure the Pokemon living in a place like this must be friendly, right? It might not be a bad idea to go out and see for yourself just how friendly Pokemon here are, right? Go and get ready for a bit of exploring. Your bag and hat and things should be hanging on your coat stand in your room. And didn't you leave a copy of the adventure rules on your desk too? All right. So we've got like half of a bottom screen fading in now. I see. Let's see. It would have been nice if like someone could have instructed me to you know, pick up those things when I was back in my room, because I did talk to both of those items, and now I've got to go back for it. Oh, this isn't my room. Sorry. Just moved in, still getting lost. Alright. I don't know if this game does it. I know a couple of Pokemon games have done it, but I wonder if also in Pokemon Sun, like, your room and your mom's room are swapped, so that, like, you live on this side and she lives on this side. I know that, I think Ruby and Sapphire... Actually, I think Ruby and Sapphire had a difference based on whether you were the boy or the girl character, and not, like, which version of the game you are playing. But, I don't know, some games do that. I'll have to go back and look at Pokemon Sun to see. Anyway, so we've got our hat. It's a lovely bucket hat, as I like to call them. I think that kind of hat also has other names, but I know them as bucket hats. Well, they do look like a bucket, don't they? Just turned upside down, put on your head. It's not a, at least it's not a pudding bowl haircut, because those are. I like a lot of the things that people do with their hair, but I think those bowl haircuts just look really not very good. Sorry to anyone who may or may not be sporting one right now. So, Mom, why don't you head up towards Iki Town and see what you can discover in Alola? Yeah, you too, Meowth. Let's see. So I did notice when I was walking around, there is a trash can here. Oh, I thought I could check the trash can, but apparently I can't check the trash can. I did notice when I was out walking around that like the food bowl for Meowth. And, I think, recent Pokemon games have started doing this sort of thing. I want to say in Sword and Shield, they also had, like, Pokemon, like, cat beds, that you could find in people's houses that I thought was just incredible. Not entirely sure how that works for bigger Pokemon like, you know, Snorlax and most of the fully evolved things. But for the small and cute ones, it works. Let's see. There's nothing else. A new fridge bought right here in Alola. Alright. Anything else? I'm not gonna go around talking to every single bit of furniture. Glass top electric stove. Alright, so we're specifying that we're using an electric stove here, not a gas-powered one. I'm not gonna go around talking to every single bit of furniture and stuff the way that I do in some games. At the beginning of the game, I think I'm more prone to doing that than later in the game. Just because you never know what you'll find. Alright, so there's some lovely flowers hanging from that basket. I can't exactly tell what those are. I don't know if they're generic tropical flowers or if they're actually, based on something, that you might find in a region such as Hawaii. Let's see, where am I going? I think I'd go west to get to town, but I'm gonna go over this way first, just to see. Alright. Watch it, cuz. It's dangerous to get too close to Pokemon when it's using one of its moves. Alright. So we're not going to be able to go any farther in that direction. I am going to go... Let's see. We'll be back there eventually, I'm sure. We have a car. It's your dad's car. Mom brought it along so she could use it to go out and run errands. And, once again... You're a kid in a Pokemon game who doesn't have your dad around, which is a little bit of a shame. To my knowledge, I don't know if actually Scarlet and Violet have finally brought your dad back, because I have still yet to play those games. Thanks, I guess. hopefully, I'll get around to it eventually. I was actually planning on doing that as my next Pokemon Let's Play until I saw the Lilo and Stitch movie, and I was like, you know, Hawaii, let's play Ultra Moon. Could be fun, but I'll get around to it eventually. This is tall grass. I'm guessing I can't go here. Yeah. Excuse me? I guess I do go here then. This is a cutscene. I am not going to attempt to vocalize these guys. Alright, fine, I'll do that one. Bark, bark. You're a seal, that's easy. I'm not sure if it was my imagination, but I think I actually saw a little bit of frame rate lag when young Gusera is running in and out of the grass. I'm not sure why, because that didn't look like it should have been a very demanding scene. Anyway, Kukui! Hang on, I know you. You're Drago, right? You okay? I saw you get attacked like that. I was scared spitless. Alright, nice cats there. I'm looking after these Pokemon, but they dashed right out. They dashed right out on their own to save you. But I guess I'm getting ahead of myself. Welcome to Alola, the Pokemon Paradise. That's what I'm supposed to be saying. I'm Kukui, yeah, the Pokemon Professor. People and Pokemon live and work together here in Alola too. Don't you ever forget. You can go anywhere, yeah, as long as you got Pokemon in your corner. Wild Pokemon can be lurking in the tall grass, yeah. Just keep waiting and leap out and bite you. But you'll be fine as long as you got a partner of your own. Hey there! Here, let me introduce the Pokemon that helped you right now. Just now. This is the grass-type Pokemon Rowlet. And the fire-type Pokemon Litten. And the water-type Pokemon Puplio. I don't know why that one's so hard. You see, the fact of the matter is, one of these Pokemon will become your first partner. Woo! Heh, maybe that's why they wanted to save you. Go on and choose the one you'd like to keep as your partner, cousin. Why don't you go ahead? Alright, so we're gonna go with, in Pokemon Sun, I picked Rowlet as my starter. Because how can I not? I like birds, and Rowlet does the thing where it just spins in circles, and it's got a couple of battle animations where it just turns its head 360 degrees. And it is objectively the most adorable thing that has ever happened in a Pokemon game, at least, well, Wooloo might give it some competition. But, I did go ahead and plan out my team ahead of time for this one. I'm gonna go with Litten. And I'm gonna try something that's, that I've never done before as far as my team goes in this here Pokemon game. And I think it should work out. I'm looking forward to trying it. I don't know if it's something that I'd ever want to do again, but I've always wanted to do it at least once, and I think this is gonna be my excuse to. So we're gonna go pick up Litten. And it's gonna do the thing where the cat just like inspects you to see what it thinks of you. Can I hit the A button, or is this gonna take over on its own? You chose Litten. I'm gonna have to think of a nickname for this, aren't I? Alright, so I did not plan out the nicknames that I was gonna give things, but at least not yet. But I am gonna give this thing a nickname, and I think, so my sister recently got a cat, and his name is Pico, as in, like, Pico Mito, as in small. For a while, I thought it was actually spelled P-E-E-K-O, as in the Wingle of Mr. Briny and Ruby Sapphire Emerald, but she did clarify that the joke is Pico, as in, like, small. So we're gonna go with Pico. Pico has been added to my party. Pico is as I like to call them, a void cat too, so I think it works. Although when this thing evolves, it's gonna be a slightly different story. Anyway. What a fine-looking team you are. Now that you can have Pokemon battles, you're what we call a Pokemon trainer. Here's a Pokeball for Litten, too. It should be nice and cozy in there. Alright then, let's go up to Iki Town, Drago. Woo! Time to meet the Island Kahuna. Alright, why? I'm gonna, do I wanna do the roleplay thing as, like, the lazy protagonist who doesn't want to protag in this game? I don't know. I'm probably just gonna do that until I get tired of the joke. Truth is that your partner Litten of yours is a gift from the Kahuna, not me. So let's go show it off and say a proper thank you, cousin. It might not be the only gift you get. In case you haven't heard, the Kahunas are all crazy strong Pokemon trainers. Be careful about getting into a battle with one. Which means that we're gonna do that probably, what, 2 hours into the game? Anyway. Iki Town is right up there. Get Lynn there in that Pokeball that I gave you. Yeah, no following Pokemon in this game, unfortunately. So as of my recording this, you can probably approximately date the recording of this, because I have talked about the Lilo and Stitch movie a couple of times, and you can check the calendar for when that came out. Legends ZA has yet to come out, and I am looking forward to that. I don't know if it's been shown off yet that Pokemon will or will not be following you on the overworld. Obviously, I'm hoping that they are, because I think that's probably one of my favorite, you know, side mechanics, I guess you could call them. Oh, this is just a, this is walled off with traffic cones, so I couldn't go that way even if I wanted to. But, yeah, what games has that actually reappeared in? So obviously Heart Gold, Soul Silver, part of Platinum, which I believe directly led into Heart Gold and Soul Silver. I guess Pokemon Yellow counts with, like, Pikachu. I can't remember off the top of my head if there have actually been other Pokemon games that feature has appeared in. But anyway, so I guess there's not very much other space where I can go wandering, so we're just gonna go charging on ahead. And we're going to be facing off against an Alolan Rattata. I guess this would be a good time for me to run through how I usually handle battles in Pokemon games. I will generally cut out random encounters in Pokemon games unless something interesting happens, like catching, or something abnormally funny or tragic, like someone getting KO'd. For trainer battles, which are typically a little more interesting, I will usually leave in and narrate the first one of a video, and then after that, I'll just speed through it like 2.5 times speed, just in case there's, you know, anything that might want to be seen, but also so that the video doesn't get slowed down too much, because maybe not so much with the Sun and Moon generation. I think around Gen 6 there started to be fewer battles in Pokemon games on just routes than there used to be, I do want to keep a pace. I don't want to spend, like, a majority of a video just battling people on routes without getting much more done. So we've got Meowth and a Yungoos there, having at it, just throwing hands. I saw something fly right in front of the camera. Did not see what exact Pokemon that was, but as like. And we're not gonna talk about, like, the technical woes that befell Scarlet and Violet and Legends Arceus, but generally, like, as the like level of technical complexity has increased in Pokemon games, we are seeing more and more just Pokemon on the overworld. And I think Gen 7, Sun and Moon, is where we really started to see a lot more of that, with just NPCs having battles and that kind of thing, and Pokemon just hanging around on their own. Like, you saw a little bit of that in previous games, obviously, of course, when they were just sprites, and not 3D models, potentially with their own set of animations. I feel like Sun and Moon is where I really started noticing that. What is it, Hop? I mean, how? Yeah, I know that I called Hop, your rival in Sword, How a number of times, and I know I'm gonna call this guy Hop a number of times, just because their names are both three letters long and they start with the same first letter. Anyway, you were impressed by Militant, apparently. Sorry about that, How. We had a little accident on the way here, so I ended up letting Drago choose his partner first without you. Yeah, take that, Hop. Damn it! I swore I did not do that on purpose. Alright. But you can choose one of these two, Hal. So we are going to start with, I have to think about this, with Hal getting his own partner. You're gonna take the one who's weak to mine, by the look of things. And is there a third NPC who, like, is one of your quasi-rivals in this game, who also takes a Poplio in my case? I can't remember. I know that there are other, my 3DS battery light just went on, so I'm gonna want to go and find a charger right after this, but I know that there are other characters who, I would, like, count as your quasi-rivals in this game, but I can't remember what Pokemon they use. Anyway, Poplio, everybody, time to get back in your balls now. Wait up, me and Rowlet have a favor to ask. Be our opponents in our first ever Pokemon battle together. Alright, so we'll do that after I find my 3DS charger. It's over here, but it's not plugged in. Which means I'm gonna have to, go down on the floor and rearrange some things in that power strip over by the wall in order to make room for it. All right, should have done this before I sat down to start recording, but anyway, no. Then I'm gonna wait for you, so you better come back and battle me. All right, so we have a choice, but we don't have a choice. Yeah, all right, fine, let's do this. I should probably stop it with the reluctant protagonist joke at this point because I'm sure I'm the only one who still finds that funny. Alright. I'm seriously gonna enjoy this. So we're gonna start, and this is gonna be Litten versus Rowlet. Let's see. Got some nice throwing animations there. I feel like I always have to judge the throwing animations in Pokemon games. Especially once we started getting into the 3D era of Pokemon, because, you know, I like throwing things. It's a fun way to pass the time. I am a fan of the sport of baseball, which happens to involve a lot of throwing things. So of course I'm gonna judge people on their form when they toss out their Pokeballs. Anyway, I swear I think I probably had like 7 or 8 thumbnails when I did Legends Arceus that were just character throwing animations, and that definitely was on purpose, and I definitely regret nothing because. Anyway, so Pika's gonna gain some experience. That wasn't the most interesting battle. I suppose we're learning to use super effective moves on our rivals here. This game didn't do it here, but I think Sword and Shield started to do something interesting, and I think games after that also started to do similar things where, as a sort of soft introduction to teaching you about type effectiveness and whatnot, your starter will start out with its neutral hit, so Tackle or Scratch or whatever it happens to be. In the first battle, the first thing that they're gonna fight is gonna be like a neutral. I think it was a Squirrel Pokemon of Galar, and you'll get enough experience from that fight to level up once, learn your Elemental move, and when you fight your rivals, like starter of their own, their weaker counterpart to yours, you'll be motivated to try out the super effective Elemental move. Without the game ever actually telling you to do that. And, that's one of those things, like, you know, I think at this point everyone sort of understands the design, philosophy of, like, Super Mario Bros. World 1-1, where, like, you start out on one side of the screen, you're encouraged to walk to the other side of the screen, and then just from there, without using any words, the game sort of just tells you what you have to do. And I try to pay attention whenever games do something like that, and it is not lost on me that Pokemon games, Sword and Shield, started doing that as well. Anyway, I also started to remember something that I have been doing a bit of in more recent Pokemon games, which is I don't have any items for catching you, do I? All right. I was gonna say I'll try and catch one new Pokemon on every route, even if I'm not planning on using it, just for the sake of filling out my dex a little. I'm not gonna go around catching everything. I'm not gonna go filling it up, catching them all, whatever. But just because there are sometimes things that can happen in the game if you have a not completed, but a somewhat completed roster of Pokemon, like an NPC might give you an item if you've seen a certain Pokemon or whatever. I'm gonna try and just have a little bit of that on hand so that maybe I can, you know, make use of some of those interactions. Oh, come on! Alright. I feel like my tolerance for random encounters in games has gone up after playing games like Final Fantasy 1 and the Golden Sun games and whatnot, where the encounter rates are really quite high, and usually in Pokemon games they're not quite as high as they are in a lot of other RPGs that feature random encounters, but I still look forward to getting Repel so that I can at least be in control of where I get into my random encounters. Anyway, this is Iki Town. This town is where folks come to worship the Pokemon that watches over Melee Island. Tapu Koko keeps us all safe and happy, see? Looks like the Kahuna's nowhere to be found, though. I guess there must be some trouble somewhere on the island that needs fixing, yeah? Yeah, the Kahuna wandered off without a word to anyone, singing a little ditty or something. I'm gonna go stop by home for a sec. I'm gonna show my mom my Rowlet. Hey, I've got an idea for you, Drago. If you head through the village and up the hill, you can visit the ruins that belong to Tapu Koko. That's our island's guardian deity, yeah? Why don't you go and introduce yourself? If you're really lucky, maybe you'll actually get a glimpse of the guardian deity yourself. I'll stick around here and wait to see if the Kahuna comes back. Alright. With that, I think we're going to end this off here. My name is Dragonite. This has been Pokemon Ultra Moon. I hope you all enjoyed that. You should all go check out Wizarducks and the Lost Hat, which is one of the games that I like to work on when I'm not doing YouTube stuff. Link to the Steam page can be found down below. And I will see you all later.